What's good, everybody? Logan Stern here, and yeah, I'm just actually filming this video. I just got off work. I'm destroyed by the heat. I woke up at 5 today to lift some weights, but you gotta do what it takes. You gotta remember, discipline and self-improvement always comes before what you want in the short term. Anyways, everybody, I'm filming a quick little video. I'm gonna be talking about training frequency with weights, like how often you should train with weights, how many days a week, and what I recommend based on like your experience levels and like other factors too. So I wasn't even planning on filming this video. I just thought of it while I was at work today, and I was just thinking, like, you know what, this would be a cool video to film. I'm gonna post it on YouTube and my Instagram. So if my words are a little bit off or mixed, I don't have like a script, I don't have any notes, I'm just saying off the top of my head. Anyways, let's get into it. So people ask me, like, how much should I train a week? How many days a week should I lift weights? So first things first, the biggest thing I want to emphasize is that training every day is a horrible idea. What I mean by that is you train 7 days in a row and repeat that over and over again. Never take any rest days. So a lot of people like the idea of it because they're working harder and just working and working and working. Now the problem with that is that you're not giving your body, say, in your central nervous system and your muscle tissue and your connective tissue time to recover, and you're going to overtrain fast. And you know, there's three kinds of people that usually claim that they train every day. One is someone who's just lying. They're just making it up to sound cool, to try to sound like hardcore. They don't actually train every day. Second kind of person is someone that does it, but they're setting themselves up for failure. They're going to overtrain and not make progress, or they're going to get injured and not make progress. So they're basically setting themselves up for failure. And the third person is someone that does train every day, but they're not training hard. They're training easy. They're going to the gym, training half-assed. They're not working hard. Those are usually the three types of people that say they train every day. So no matter your experience level, don't lift weights every day. I recommend 1 day a week, 1 or 2 days a week off, minimum of 1 day off a week of hard cardio and weight training. If you want to stretch or massage on those other on that day off or rest days, feel free to, but 1 day off from hard cardio and weightlifting. Anyways, now that's out of the way. So the biggest factor when it comes to how much you're going to train is, I would say, is your experience level. So if you're a beginner lifter, you're going to want to train 3 to 4 days a week. Now, you can train more if you want to. You can train less, but I would say 3 to 4 days is optimal for getting in enough volume and exercise selection. So you might want to train more. The thing is, when you're a beginner, what your main focus should be is trying to like learn proper form and build decent strength and muscle using like the big compound lifts. So like bench press, squat, deadlift. You want to get your strength to a decent level. So if you're wondering what that level is, it's going to obviously depend like on your age and your body weight, and if you're a guy or a girl. If you're a guy, I would say around like a 185 to 200 pound bench is like, or in like a 275-ish squat, maybe like a 350 deadlift. I would say that would put you like at an intermediate level to when you're ready to start training more. But anyways, your main focus should be trying to get strong with those movements and trying to put on a good base layer of muscle, and also like learn form and learn proper nutrition and recovery habits. You know, you should get those things down first before you try to move on to a more advanced or intermediate program. So that's what I recommend for beginners. You know, you don't need to train more than 3 or 4 days a week. I have some free beginners programs. If you want one, just hit me up. Anyways, that's for beginners. So if you're an intermediate or an advanced lifter, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to train around like 4 to 5 days a week. So the reason why I want to train more often is because at this point you've built a decent level of strength. You've put on a good foundation of muscle. Your body is used to training stimulus. So you're going to want to start like focusing more on different muscle groups and like maybe developing other ones. At this point, you've kind of like established what your genetic weaknesses are if you've been following a balanced like training system at this point. But you're going to want to start focusing more on different body parts. And so 4 to 5 days a week is generally best for that. So you can have more individualized and focused workouts on like different muscle groups or different lifts, and also like to get enough volume in. So if you're wondering, should I train 4 or 5 days a week? Now, This depends on several factors. First factor is what your goals are. Second factor is going to be like what you're doing outside of lifting as far as like work, stress, recovery, nutrition. And third factor is genetics. Now, the first two factors you have control over. You have mostly control over. Third factor, unfortunately, you don't, but can't really do anything about it. So, actually, forgot to say this. I recommend training 4 to 6 days a week if you're an intermediate. 4 to 6 days a week. Sorry, 4 to 6 days. First thing I want to talk about is your goals. So if you're more focused on strength, I recommend doing a lower training frequency, like going 4 to 5 days a week. What I usually do is like when I'm doing a strength training cycle, I'll do 5 days a week, and as the weights get heavier and the volume decreases, I drop it down to around 4 days a week, because my central nervous system is being taxed from all the heavier lifting, and I will benefit more from recovery. And another thing too is I'm not really going to be focusing more on just like individualized muscle groups as much. I can do a more generic strength approach. So my workouts won't be all condensed and like super long when I'm more focused on strength. Now, when I'm more focused on bodybuilding or hypertrophy, like muscle building, or building strength in a higher rep range, like maybe like in the 10 to 20 range, 8 to 20 range, versus like the 1 to 5 range. I'll often train more frequently. So for me, what I'll do is I'll do like 5 days a week. With that, I think like 5 days a week is really good for that, because you can usually like split up your muscle groups into like different workouts, so you can hit it like usually around twice a week, but you'll find that your workouts can be more individualized. You can focus more on an individual muscle group and the workouts, and you'll be able to get more volume in for that muscle group. And on top of that, you'll be able to have a better pump, that's important for when your goal is hypertrophy. Trying to get a good pump and really focus on that mind-muscle connection to break down as many muscle fibers possible. So if you're more focused on like bodybuilding, I say around 5 to 6 days a week. So the second thing is like your recovery and your nutrition and like other stuff you do outside of the gym. So your recovery and nutrition, as far as sleep goes, you have control over those things. If you maximize those things, you're good to go. But if you like have a job or you're working a ton and you're just crunched on time, if you have an active job, your ability to recover, like if you're moving stuff around all the time, like almost every day, your ability to recover is probably not going to be as good. So with that being said, you're going to want to maybe go more towards a lower frequency approach. Like maybe more towards like 4 days a week, maybe 5, whatever. Probably not 6 though. If you're active, you do a sport, that will also like somewhat impact your recovery. So I would say do like maybe again like less training frequency. If like you're in a sport where there's an off season, just train more like frequently in the off season. Also, if like if you're really busy and like stressed out a lot, I recommend doing a lower training frequency, because it can really like if you're really stressed, you're gonna have higher levels of cortisol, and that's actually and you're trying to balance hard training all the time with that. That's gonna actually impact your ability to grow muscle or recover. So I recommend lower training frequency. If you have a lot going on in your life, like you're busy with school, working a lot, whatever, go more towards a lower frequency. Unless you can manage it all, then do that. But if you're a person that doesn't do anything else, you don't work much, you don't go to school or whatever, or you do those things but you really have it under control, then go more towards the higher end. Like I think if you really want to get great at lifting, at bodybuilding, powerlifting, then do as much as you can while making progress. So that's what I say as far as that goes. The last thing I want to talk about is genetics. So you cannot control your genetics, unfortunately. You might want to just like change your genetics. You can train as much as you want to, and some people need more volume than others to grow. Some need less. So I can't really tell you what your genetics are like. You have to kind of learn that yourself. Just see like what works for you, and that comes from trial and error, which as an intermediate or advanced lifter, that happens. You'll learn more and get better. If you're wondering about cardio, that's also gonna like depend on what your goals are. If you're an athlete, you do a sport like track or swim, you're going to be doing a lot of cardio. I recommend you try not to do cardio right before lifting, or you try not to do hard running or anything like that before a leg day, the day before a leg day. But if you can't control that, just don't worry about it. Just do the best you can. You'll get used to it. It won't make an impact. But if you're a person that just doesn't really care about cardio, you just do it to stay minimally in shape or just burn more calories, which is what I do. I don't really care much for cardio. Just do it a couple times a week. Now, if you're wondering what I do is it depends on my goals. So for strength training, like I said, I do around 4 to 5 days a week. Generally, I'll start at the beginning of a strength cycle. My volume is higher. I'll do 5 days a week. Then I'll drop it down to 4 days towards the end of the training cycle. For hypertrophy, I'll do 5 days a week usually. That's just usually what I do. I find it allows me to have good workouts without everything being too condensed. I can have more fun with my workouts, get better pumps, get more focus on different muscle groups. I can focus more on weak points. So that's what I do personally. Yeah, guys, that's all I really have to say today. To really cap things off, sum things up, what I recommend is if you're a beginner, you train 3 to 4 days a week. And if you're an intermediate, you train around 4 to 6 days a week, depending on your goals, your what's going on in your life, your genetics, your ability to recover, etc. All those factors I just talked about. Just don't train. You can train more or less if you want to, but that's not really optimal. As long as you're not training every day, that's a good idea. Don't train every day. You sound like to some people, it might sound like you're hardcore, you're a badass. To me, you just sound like you're a clown. Nah, I'm just kidding. I just think, to me, you just sound like you don't know what you're doing. But yeah, guys, please comment, share, and subscribe, and send this to someone who's trying to learn more about training or whatever. Maybe take this information for yourself. But yeah, guys, see y'all in the next video.